This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Monday, the 19th day of February in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting. Here's what we're tracking tonight. The 2024 Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo opened this morning at the Marriott Hotel, with President Irfan Ali unveiling parts of Guyana's oil and gas master plan, which will see major investments in Guyana's infrastructure to support the country's ambitions in transportation and logistics. The president told delegates of the conference that the government of Guyana intends to invest heavily in infrastructure development to bolster trade and transform the country into an important transport and logistics hub for countries in the region.
In northern Brazil, they import about, and this is just food-related imports, agriculture and food-related imports. In northern Brazil, they import about 8 million tons of food-related imports, and they export 13 million tons. But guess what? To move this to the port, it takes them 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Because they're landlocked. Coming through Guyana will take less than 2 days. Coming through Guyana will take less than 2 days. Our geographic position now places us on a competitive path to be the shipping logistics solution for northern Brazil, and more importantly, to make them more competitive. And that now justifies and add to the rate of return for the deepwater port.
President Ali spoke about the plans for a deepwater port in Berbice, which he believes would serve as a game changer for both Guyana and Brazil. He also said the master plan also takes the local bauxite industry into consideration, noting that while the country has been a prime exporter of raw bauxite, the master plan provides the opportunity for the country to engage in upstream and high-value production of alumina through the utilization of cheaper and reliable energy.
With our neighbors Suriname and Guyana combined, we have about 1.5 billion metric tons of bauxite. That's the reserve. With the natural gas and the cost of energy coming down, we can now move to upscale high-value manufacturing in aluminium plant, building an aluminium plant to support the deepwater port. This is the value addition. This is the value creation. This is what it opens up.
The president said there is also tremendous interest in the gold refinery here in Guyana, and he noted that Guyana's future will depend heavily on reliable and efficient energy. However, the president noted that at the moment the country does not have the quantum of energy that is needed to drive industrialization and manufacturing, which he believes is critical to the country's development. It was against that backdrop that he lobbied the key players in the energy sector to support Guyana's quest to develop its natural gas resources. The conference has brought together more than 800 delegates from around the world. It will run until Thursday. More news coming up in just a moment.
22nd, we're heading to the biggest wet fed of MASH. Splashamani 2024 at the Guyana National Stadium. Enough water, pulse, enough soca. The night before the holiday, soca star Problem Child. Hola Tunji.
Is a party in the engine.
Splashamani, the official wet fed of MASH 2024. Problem Child, Olatunji, and more to be added. Come, let's soak you down in water and soca. Early bird tickets $3,000. Brought to you by Hits and Jams Entertainment.
Fireside sweet, standard and unique. Room fresh and nice, comfortable and neat. 24-hour whole day we a tweet. Affordable price on a Garnet Street, yo. Can't vex, cause we top of the line. Fireside are the best, 5-star we a shine. From you come one time, we tag a left on your mind. To tell your family, your friend, them one more time, say. Best service a Fireside Suite. Safety ensured on a Fireside Suite. Price them cheap on a Fireside Suite. Come enjoy your stay on a Fireside Suite. Fireside Suite located at 154 Garnet Street, Kitty. For bookings and reservation, call contact number 623-3473.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
With increasing energy security challenges facing the region, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Qatari, believes that Guyana, as well as Trinidad and Tobago and Suriname, as the three oil-producing nations in the region, can play a critical role in averting the challenges currently being faced in the region. Speaking at the opening of the Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo at the Marriott Hotel this morning, Dr. Rowley said the region is no stranger to challenges, and he calculated that CARICOM countries on average import an estimated 87% of their oil. He believes the dependence has left the region vulnerable to energy market volatilities, which could take a toll on crucial economic sectors.
In order to ensure energy security for the region and combat the negative impacts of climate change, it is imperative that we effectively utilize our resources, whether they be hydrocarbon or renewable, through collaborative efforts. Only by working together can we obtain our objectives of fostering productive and resilient economies in what promises to be an increasingly hostile business environment.
The Prime Minister noted that although the industry finds itself in a delicate situation due to climate change, the region's oil-producing countries must maximize their resources for the development of their nations and the wider region. He said the Caribbean energy economies, Trinidad, Guyana, and Suriname, will not be irresponsible nor shy away from beneficial opportunities coming for the sector.
Linking the energy and industrial transformations enabled by the energy transition to a broader economic cooperation would help to ensure that the region makes the most out of its hydrocarbon resources. Events of this nature, such as the recently held Trinidad and Tobago Energy Conference, the current Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Expo, and the Suriname Energy, Oil and Gas Summit and Exhibition, which is scheduled for June 4 to 7, 2024. These are vehicles which bring us all together with a central objective of advancing the development of the region's hydrocarbons for the benefit of all its stakeholders.
The Trinidadian Prime Minister said the Caribbean region must have solid strategies in place for shared infrastructure and supply chain, which can drastically reduce the cost of transportation in the region. He urged all producing nations within the region to learn from the experiences of his country, Trinidad and Tobago, and not only focus on the oil sector, but also pay key attention to other sectors and to diversity. Teachers across the country continue to stay away from their classrooms in large numbers today as their strike action entered its third week. Across the country, teachers gathered in large numbers and hosted protest marches. In Georgetown, hundreds of teachers and their supporters moved into the Kingston area close to the Marriott Hotel, where the opening of the Guyana Energy Conference was taking place. On the picket line, GTU General Secretary Coretta MacDonald said there has been no response from the government to recent letters from the Guyana Teachers Union. Since the strike started, the government has made no effort to reach out to the union in an effort to restart negotiations.
Why is it the government is so bent on disrespecting teachers? I'm hearing if you increase teachers' salaries, then you would have to increase the salaries of other public sector workers. But I'm asking the very question, what do we receive at the end of the year? The same across the board increase. But the increase you give us is what you want to give us. But at the end of the day, you still give it to all sectors of workers in this country.
With the Guyana Energy Conference taking place this week, the GTU General Secretary said that with all of the development taking place in the oil and gas sector, teachers and other citizens are still to see direct benefits, even as billions are being earned. MacDonald said the union is ready to talk, and that is why it has been meeting with its members and listening to them during the protests. Some parents and teachers who were also part of this morning's protest action also called on the government to begin engaging the nation's teachers, since the children are the ones who will suffer the most in the long run. Most schools in Georgetown were almost empty for an 11th day today as the strike continued. The GTU is pushing for the government to begin negotiations on its multi-year proposal, which was submitted more than 3 years ago.
At the most critical life-changing moments, the National Insurance Scheme is here to ensure that your needs are covered. Access reimbursement for medical expenses for various aspects of your medical care. We know that eye care is of utmost importance. Receive assistance with our Spectacle Care voucher. Visiting the dentist? Dental care is also covered under our sickness benefit services. Offset the funeral expenses of a loved one with costs covered by our funeral benefits. National Insurance Scheme. We're there every step of the way.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo, from its pristine rivers to its abundant resources. It's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
commitment to this land
is not just about ownership.
It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
In a ceremonial bricklaying ceremony on Sunday for a $300 million Qatari hotel on Carifesta Avenue, President Irfan Ali noted the benefits that the new facility will add to Guyana's tourism product. The hotel is expected to include 260 rooms and 150 apartments, along with conference and other facilities. It will be built on the National Insurance Scheme ground along Carifesta Avenue, which is situated on land that was given to the city of Georgetown for recreational purposes by former plantation owners in 1887. Despite some controversy surrounding the ownership of that land and the acquisition of the property for hotel development, President Ali said the development fits into his government's transformative plans for Georgetown. He said Guyana will continue to welcome and build partnerships with investors from across the globe. The new hotel complex will be built by the private company Assets Group of Qatar. The president said the government has seen tremendous investment benefits from countries in the Middle East since it has focused some attention on that region. Meanwhile, Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce Anish Waldron said initiative and investment from the Qatari group will augur well for the development of the country's tourism sector. She said on the completion of the hotel, more than 1,000 rooms will be available within the stretch in the Kingston area, making reference to the nearby Pegasus and Marriott hotels. The Georgetown Seafront Hotel and Complex is expected to be completed within 3 years and serve as a 5-star facility. Dominican Republic-based airline Sky High Aviation began its services to Guyana on Sunday. The airline will operate 3 flights per week between Guyana and the Dominican Republic, and intends to eventually expand its services to daily flights. Officials of the airline have indicated that they intend for the service to be here for the long haul.
But this is just the beginning of what we would like to see as a very lasting, fruitful relationship with a possibility for growth and for expansion. When we decided as a government to grant approval for this airline to operate, it was after our consideration as it relates to its scope, where they are coming from, and the possibilities that exist.
Meanwhile, Minister of Public Works Juan Egil, while welcoming the airline, said he believes its addition to the market will bring more competition. The Public Works Minister said the introduction of services by the new airline is in line with the government's commitment to make Guyana a premier tourist destination, but also to provide fast and easy air travel that will connect Guyana and the Caribbean with the rest of the world.
We are not just talking about building a strong tourism industry, but we are making the right steps. We are making the deliberate steps. Now, may I remind us, things don't just happen. In case we have people who are saying, well, Guyana is getting lucky. People are coming. Things don't just happen. People make things happen. And sometimes it's hard work, negotiations, tough decisions, and also taking risks, getting us to where we are.
Sky High applied in March of 2022 to operate non-scheduled flights between Guyana and Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic 3 times per week. The airline offers scheduled passenger and cargo services across the Caribbean, Venezuela, and the U.S. Its current route network includes flights to Miami, Caracas, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, Antigua, St. Martin, St. Kitts, St. Thomas, St. Croix, Guadeloupe, Martinique, French Guyana, and Havana, Cuba. With the gas-to-energy project moving apace, Guyana is well on its way to becoming a major exporter of cooking gas, President Irfan Ali said as the 2024 Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo opened this morning. The gas energy project, which will see a $1 billion pipeline transporting natural gas from the country's FPSOs in the Stabroek block to a $759 million power plant and natural gas plant at Wales, is currently being executed.
This project is extremely critical to give us, first of all, the efficiency, the reliability, but more importantly, it gives us the opportunity to be competitive, because at the end of this project, the cost of energy will be reduced by 50%, and that then puts us in the game for manufacturing, agro-processing, and industrial development.
The president said in addition to bringing down the cost of electricity, the country would have the potential to export between 3,200 and 4,000 barrels of liquid gas per day to the region.
So we will be producing at least 4,000 barrels, and that is in phase one, 40% of the pipeline. Our local consumption is 800 barrels. Immediately, we have 3,200 barrels available for export. This has to be moved. It has to be transported. And here is where the bridge link to Suriname across the Quarantine River is key and critical. That is why we are pushing to advance the building of this bridge so that that market in Suriname becomes available in even the forest phase of the excess.
While Exxon is expected to supply Guyana with 50 million cubic feet of gas per day, the pipeline, which is currently under construction, will have the capacity to transport approximately 120 million.
At full capacity, we are looking at 10,000 barrels per day. That is propane and butane, 10,000 barrels. So you're moving to 10,000 barrels per day. Now, what does this mean for us? This means for us that even with the growth in our demand, we will have 9,000 barrels per day ready for export. What does this translate to? This translates to us being able to fulfill, to a large extent, all of CARICOM needs. It leads us to fulfillment of all of Roraima needs.
President Ali noted that in the Dominican Republic alone there is a market for more than 5,000 barrels per day. However, he said to achieve that it is important to build out the economic ecosystem, which would see investment in infrastructure and transportation.
Did you know Guy Super 95 gasoline has an octane rating of 95, the highest rating available in Guyana? This premium fuel is known to enhance the performance of your engine, making it run smoother and more efficiently, leading to better fuel economy and improved performance. Choose Super 95 for more mileage and better overall performance.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, 16 people from the same family were found dead in a remote mountain town in southern Haiti, a local official said on Monday, with local news outlets noting that the deaths were reported a day after the family attended a funeral. The bodies were found in the small town about 30 miles south of Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince. It was not clear what caused the deaths, but local witnesses told Reuters that it might be a case of poisoning. Police and health services have been deployed to the area to investigate the matter. While the deaths have not been linked to gangs, Haitian criminal groups have grown increasingly powerful, in part due to money extorted from businesses as well as residents and families of kidnapping victims. A report from the Global Initiative Against Transnational Organized Crime showed earlier this month. Last year, gang activity claimed nearly 5,000 lives, according to a report from the United Nations, as the Caribbean nations outgunned police struggle to quell the violence. As Grenada continues to monitor the ongoing oil spill that occurred off the coast of Tobago, the National Disaster Management Agency says, as of February 18, there were no reports of the oil spill reaching close to the shores of Grenada. Despite this, Nadima says it remains vigilant as the movement of the oil is dependent on weather and sea conditions. The government of Grenada received a statement from Trinidad and Tobago's Ministry of Foreign Affairs on February 17, which provided more information about the oil spill. Grenada was informed that an overturned vessel leaking oil was first detected off the coast of Cove, Tobago, on the morning of Wednesday, February 7, 2024. Preliminary laboratory testing by the Institute of Marine Affairs, Trinidad and Tobago, indicates that the samples are characteristics of a refined oil, possibly a fuel oil or marine diesel. Additional samples are being collected for further analyses. The estimated quantity of oil on board the overturned vessel has not been confirmed. Trinidad and Tobago has engaged regional and international entities to assist with the cleanup efforts. The government of Grenada was also informed that Trinidad and Tobago is willing to provide resources where possible to Grenada to assist with cleanup efforts if it becomes necessary. And finally tonight, international news. Donald Trump, who drew criticism as U.S. president for his praise of Russian leader Vladimir Putin, on Monday made his first public comment on the death of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny in a social media post that cast no blame but alluded to his own legal woes. The front-runner for the Republican presidential nomination on his Truth Social platform sought to link Navalny's death to his own political troubles. Trump said radical left politicians, prosecutors and judges are leading the U.S. down a path to destruction. It was not clear what similarities Trump was trying to draw with Russia's most prominent opposition leader. Navalny, 47, fought for years against what he called vast corruption in Putin's Russia, ruled by crooks and thieves. The Trump campaign did not immediately respond to a request for clarification. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.